5 years ago, we went out to our entire community and asked, what do you think? What goals do you have for your students, and what characteristics would you like to see in our schools? And we conducted a series of meetings in all three communities. Basalt, Carbondale, and Glenwood Springs had very high participation. Over 1,000 teachers, parents, students, and community members gave us their opinions about what they'd like to see in their schools. And from that, we rewrote our mission statement, which now says that Roaring Fork Schools will ensure that every student develops the enduring knowledge, skills, and character to thrive in a changing world.
Another really important factor that came out of doing the visioning process was that it was the first time that I recall that we had a really clearly articulated strategic plan for the district, and that level of clarity made it so easy to make decisions about if we're going to do A or do B, and to keep us from doing A through Z.
I think that that's because we have this common goal that comes from that visioning process that aligns what we do every time that we're together. It directs us and it keeps us on track.
Overall, when I step back and look, we've made great deals of progress in what we call two of our strategic pillars, academic excellence and a culture of character. Embedded in the commitments that we made to our community were a range of things. Of course, we had academic goals for our students, that they'd be able to enter a college or career of their choice after a Roaring Fork School District education. But we also wanted them to be problem solvers and critical thinkers and engaged in more experiential learning than we normally think of in terms of classroom instruction.
And the instructional practices have been heavily influenced by that visioning process. In fact, that visioning process has laid out for us exactly what we need to pursue, and has given us the ability to pick those strategies which we think will best get us close to those outcomes. So one of the voices that we heard throughout the process was that increasing student engagement was really important. And so over these 5 years, we've seen this shift from where we've looked at the mechanics of a classroom, working on specific strategies, improving the practices that teachers are using, and now spending a lot more time working on the quality of the work that students are doing and looking at, do students find what we're doing with them engaging?
We established the capstone project as a graduation requirement because that gives students a chance to identify something in which they're interested and to pursue their own learning goals, and not just do the kinds of learning that their teachers and schools expect of them. And it's also the kinds of learning they're going to need to succeed in their work lives and their futures.
We had this a growth of maker spaces and other engineering areas and buildings where students have access to tools and resources and thought structures to allow them to construct or deconstruct, allow them to really experiment with the way things work. And these spaces have now arrived in every school that we have, and they're as simple as papers and scissors, and they're as complex as programming robots.
We wanted our students to develop habits and character skills that would prepare them not just for future studies, but for life. And we went about creating programs that would support those goals.
And when you think of those habits of a scholar and the grit and perseverance and executive function, these kinds of things are the difference in my mind between a successful child and what we all want, really a productive kid in our society who eventually can actually earn a living as well.
We actually have 1/3 of our instructional model that's around the culture of character as well. And so it became more intentionally called out in our instructional work than it ever had been before.
We implemented the CREW program because we think it's very important that all of our students have a sense of belonging in our schools and at least have one adult who knows them well and who's watching out for them.
Our kids need to be connected to a person, to another person in the building, and that connection will help them thrive.
We've made a very concerted investment in talent. It's important to us that we retain and attract great teachers and leaders in our schools.
we've got these amazing teachers in our district. How do we keep them? And how do we attract new talented teachers with the unique situation that we're in here, that it's a very high cost of living, hard to get into, housing. And since that time, thanks to the school district's big push, we were able to secure $15 million in housing so teachers can actually live and work in their communities.
We've worked hard on our recruitment efforts, but more importantly, we've invested in our staff.
So we've really diversified the professional development that we've been offering, and we organized a lot of that work then around theories of motivation, of encouraging teachers' mastery, purpose, and autonomy.
Which is giving teachers a really specific set of skills and strategies that are proven over time to be effective at helping students gain new knowledge and new skills.
We really wanted to have world-class facilities in which our students can learn. We built an entire new school. We improved all of our schools, renovated all of our middle schools, rebuilt Glenwood Springs Elementary School. So when you walk into any school today, you're going to see a much improved facility. And that's really thanks to the taxpayer and community support that allowed us to fund this amazing investment in our schools, which will stand up the test of time. The area where we've probably made the least progress is in how we've really partnered with community. And we really want to continue to find better ways for all of our parents to have more voice in decision making in our schools. So we've established a range of measures. We survey students and teachers and parents every year to keep this feedback loop ongoing. We continue to ask our community, how are we doing, what do you think, and what do you want? And we're using that data to inform improvement efforts in our schools. We think we established a mission statement that will stand the test of time. One of the things we want to ask the community, though, is does it still hold up? And if not, what's next?
And I think that's one of the things we have to watch for as we're going through another round of visioning, is that we don't try to do A through Z, and that we stay highly effective in a much narrower range of skills that give our students the experience, the knowledge, the skills to thrive in a changing world.
There's still work to do, but after 5 years, where would the community like us to go? Es muy importante que toda la comunidad participe. Todos tienen una voz y vamos a escuchar a todos.
Algo que quiero que ustedes sepan es que van a tener las juntas en inglés y en español. Y lo más importante es que cada padre debe participar para sus niños.